Hi, I'm Jon. Let's talk about coffee. So, there's a few things to keep in mind when you're going into a coffee shop to be able to tell whether it's a specialty coffee shop. Now, in my past video, I said that specialty coffee is all about a hunt for deliciousness. It's taking a cup of coffee and making it taste as good as freshly ground coffee smells. The amount of times that you'll go into a coffee shop and you'll smell the coffee and it smells so good, and then you get the cup of coffee in front of you and you taste it and it doesn't taste anywhere near as good. It happens a lot. It's happened a lot to me, and I know it's happened to a lot to other people too. Now, when you walk into a coffee shop, there's a few things to be aware of, which might highlight to you whether it's producing high quality coffee or a low quality beverage. So the first thing to do is notice, are they grinding the coffee per cup? Once coffee beans are ground, they start reacting to the air. That's why you get that delicious smell coming off of freshly ground coffee. But as soon as it sits there for a minute, it starts to degrade further and further and further. It loses all those essential oils that are in the beans because they're escaping into the air, and it oxidizes. So if they've got a big hopper, that's the thing underneath the grinder, if it's full to the top with coffee, not worth it. It's been sitting there for God knows how long, possibly hours. You're drinking old, stale coffee, basically. The next thing to do is ask the person making your coffee, the barista, where the beans are from. Any person working in a coffee shop worth their salt will know, or at least somebody will know where they're from. The country, and also the roaster. Now, the roaster is really the thing to be aware of, because if the coffee shop that you're going into is willing to spend a premium on the beans, which they're buying from the roaster, then they're going to put in that extra bit of effort to make that coffee really good. Because there's no point in making bad coffee with really good beans, because you'll still get bad coffee. And you can't make good coffee with bad beans. So being aware of the roasters near where you live and who are the good roasters. So for example, in London, when I go into any coffee shop and I ask, where are your beans from? And they say Square Mile or Workshop or some of the other specialty coffee roasters in London, I know that they're at least going to be at a certain level and they'll be making a decent cup of coffee. And the last kind of things to be aware of is when you have a coffee from a really good coffee shop, you shouldn't need to add anything to it, right? You should be able to drink it right then and there. It shouldn't be bitter because it should have been made with care. So you shouldn't need sugar. And the milk should be drinkable right at that moment. It shouldn't burn your tongue, because if your milk's that hot, it's scalded, which means it's boiled. You get this weird, not very nice flavour with boiled milk. So those are a few things just to be aware of when you're walking into a coffee shop. And it's why at home it's a lot easier to make coffee that's delicious than if you're just wandering about the streets walking into a random coffee shop. And over the next few videos I'll be looking at different recipes and different brewing methods where you can make delicious coffee at home.